Nobody's going to tell you why they stopped picking up your calls, but I will. There are 7 habits quietly destroying how people see you, and the worst part is, you're probably doing at least 3 of them right now without noticing. Not the obvious ones, like lying or cheating, the invisible ones, the habits that look harmless in the moment, but cost you respect, one conversation at a time. I found out the hard way. Invitations that used to come stopped coming. Conversations that used to run deep started running shallow. And for a long time, I couldn't figure out why. It wasn't one big mistake. It was 7 small ones repeated so often they became my reputation. The Stoics had a word for what fixes this: self-examination. Marcus Aurelius reviewed his own conduct every single night, not to punish himself, but to catch the patterns before they calcified. So today, we're doing the same thing to you. 7 habits, ranked from the one that mildly annoys people to the one that quietly destroys everything. Stick with me until the last one, because it's the habit almost nobody admits to, and it might be running your entire life. If this is useful, hit subscribe. Let's start. Number 1. Complaining by default. Venting occasionally is human, but if every conversation somehow loops back to what's wrong, the commute, the weather, your job, people start bracing themselves before they talk to you. They stop asking how you are because they already know the answer is a list. Epictetus taught that we don't suffer from events, we suffer from our judgments about them. Complaining is judgment on repeat. It feels like relief in the moment. It's actually a subscription. Every time you renew it, you drain a little more energy out of the room. Here's the fix. Before you complain, ask one question: can I actually change this? If yes, go change it. If no, let it go. It's simple. It's also brutally hard to practice. I had a friend once admit that she started rehearsing her answer to "how are you" just so the conversation wouldn't spiral into another list. That stung to hear, but it also showed me exactly how my words were landing on the other side, and that's a mirror most people never get held up to them. This one is annoying. The next one is worse, because it doesn't just drain a room, it makes people stop trusting your presence in it. Number 2. Interrupting people mid-thought. Think about the last time someone cut you off to talk about themselves. It felt small, didn't it? Like your thought wasn't worth finishing. Now consider how often you might be doing that without noticing. Marcus Aurelius practiced something close to radical attention, giving his full presence to whoever was in front of him instead of half listening while planning his next sentence. When you interrupt, you're saying, without words, that your thoughts matter more than theirs. People remember that feeling long after they forget what you actually said. It doesn't even have to be aggressive to count. Finishing someone's sentence for them, jumping in with, "Oh, same thing happened to me," redirecting their story back toward yours, these all send the exact same signal. You weren't listening. You were waiting. The fix is uncomfortable. Let the silence sit. Let them finish even when you're sure you already know where they're going. Especially then, because that's exactly when the urge to jump in is strongest and exactly when it costs the most to give into it. But interrupting only costs you in the moment. What comes next follows you into every room, because it's not about how you treat others. It's about how obviously you need them to validate you. Number 3. Chasing constant validation. This one hides well. It looks like confidence seeking, posting for reassurance, fishing for compliments, needing someone to confirm you made the right call before you'll actually believe it. But underneath, there's a hunger that never fills up, and people can sense hunger from across a room. Seneca put it plainly: if you want to be loved, love. If you want your judgment respected, trust it first, yourself, before you ask anyone else to. Marcus Aurelius wrote that very little is needed for a good life. It's within your own thinking. External approval was never yours to control. Someone's opinion of you today can flip tomorrow for reasons that have nothing to do with you. Start making small decisions without asking anyone. Trust your own read. The less you chase approval, the more it starts arriving on its own, because respect follows people who stop begging for it. There's a strange irony here worth sitting with. The more you ask, "Was that okay?" the less okay people start to think it actually was. Confidence isn't loud. It's just quiet enough that nobody has to reassure it. That one costs you your own confidence. The next one costs you something harder to rebuild: other people's trust in your word. Number 4, oversharing before trust is earned. You know the type. Meet someone new and within 20 minutes they're unloading trauma, exes, family drama, all of it. It feels like intimacy. It's actually the opposite. It hands someone weight they didn't ask for and don't know what to do with. Epictetus warned against loose with our words, especially the ones closest to our inner life, because sharing them with people who haven't earned that trust cheapens them. Depth in a relationship is built layer by layer. It's not a dump, it's a slow reveal. Let trust build first. Share a little. Watch how someone holds it. Then decide if they've earned the next layer. Think of it less like a confession and more like a story with good pacing. The version where everything comes out in chapter 1 has nowhere left to go, and neither does the relationship. That one damages the relationship before it even starts. But broken promises damage relationships that already exist, and those are much harder to repair. Number 5, breaking small promises. This one seems minor, which is exactly why it's dangerous. Saying you'll call and not calling. Saying you'll be there and canceling last minute. Saying I'll send that today and letting it slide for a week. Each one alone is forgivable. Stacked together, they become a pattern, and eventually people stop taking your words seriously at all. Epictetus held people to a simple standard: match your word to your action, in the small things as much as the big ones. Marcus Aurelius believed character shows up in the tiny choices nobody's watching, not the grand ones everyone sees.
Here's what makes this one sneaky. Each individual broken promise comes with a perfectly good reason. You were tired, something came up, it genuinely slipped your mind. Nobody's keeping score of the reasons, they're keeping score of the pattern, whether you meant to or not. Say less, follow through on everything you do say. A reputation built on kept promises, even the small ones, is one of the rarest things a person can have. Notice something. Nobody remembers the one time you kept a big promise under pressure nearly as clearly as they remember the 10 small times you didn't call when you said you would. Trust is built in bulk, not in moments. But broken promises are honest mistakes people can forgive. What they can't forgive as easily is watching you refuse to own them. Number 6, excusing your mistakes instead of owning them. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what comes right after. If your first move is always to explain, deflect, or blame circumstances, traffic, timing, bad luck, people notice the pattern before you do. The Stoics were unforgiving here, in the best way. The only thing truly yours to control is your response. Making excuses is an attempt to control how others see your failure instead of simply owning it. Marcus Aurelius believed the right move after a mistake was plain acknowledgement and a course correction, not a defense of your ego. Try this instead. You're right, I got that wrong. I'll fix it. No attachment, no justification. People respect a clean apology more than a clever one every single time. The strange part is, the excuse rarely even convinces anyone. It's not really for them, it's for you. A way to avoid the 2 seconds of discomfort that comes with simply being wrong out loud. And now, the last one, the habit almost nobody will admit to, because admitting it means admitting you've been quietly resenting people you claim to care about. Number 7, comparing yourself to others out loud. It shows up in comments like, "must be nice, they didn't even work that hard," or constantly measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel, out loud, in front of people. It feels like harmless observation. It's actually broadcasting insecurity and, worse, a quiet resentment toward other people's wins. Seneca called comparison the thief of contentment, a habit that guarantees you'll never feel like enough, no matter how much you actually have. Epictetus went further. Other people's fortune isn't your business. It's entirely outside your control, and obsessing over it burns energy that should be going toward your own growth. Turn the comparison inward. Measure yourself against who you were yesterday, not against someone else's today. The moment you stop comparing out loud, people start feeling safe celebrating their wins around you. And that, ironically, is where real connection actually begins. This is why it's last on the list. It's not louder than the others, it's quieter. And quieter is more dangerous because it hides behind the mask of just being honest, when really it's the clearest window into how much you're still measuring your worth by someone else's ruler. 7 habits. None of them make you a bad person, they make you human. But awareness is where change starts, and change is available the moment you decide to stop repeating the pattern. Respect was never something you could demand. It's something you build quietly in the choices nobody's watching. Choose honesty over excuses. Choose presence over interruption. Choose your own approval over everyone else's applause. Do that consistently, and you'll stop chasing respect entirely. It will simply start following you. The Stoics never promised this would be easy. Marcus Aurelius wasn't writing to an audience when he listed his own flaws night after night. He was writing to himself, because even an emperor had to be honest about the gap between who he was and who he wanted to be. That's the real practice here. Not becoming flawless, just becoming a little more honest with yourself than you were yesterday, and letting that honesty show up in how you treat the people around you. If you recognized yourself in even one of these, that's not a bad thing. That's the starting point. Check the next video on your screen and keep building the version of yourself you're actually working toward.